Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to a brand new mod spotlight on a mod that's an add-on for one of my favorite mods. We're taking a look at Thaumic Tinkerer. Thaumic Tinkerer is a relatively new mod. It's currently available for Minecraft version 1.5 and it is already part of the Direwolf20 FTB pack. And I think it's part of a couple other FTB packs as well. And I figured since it's in that pack and you guys are probably playing around with it right now, I should probably do a mod spotlight on it so you know what it's all about. I've been in touch with the mod developer. He's a really cool guy. He's got some pretty cool plans coming up for this mod as well. But for now, I'm going to show you what exists in 1.5 and get ready to show you all the cool stuff that Thaumic Tinkerer has available. Let's take a look. So as this mod is an add-on for Thaumcraft, you're going to need to research most of the items that you can find in it. So let's take a look in our cheat mode, Thaumonomicon. That's right, I got myself a cheat version of Thaumonomicon that unlocks all the stuff, and you can check out all the cool things that are available in Thaumic Tinkerer. Now, one of the things to note about Thaumic Tinkerer items is the mod author goes out of his way to indicate in the Thaumonomicon which items are coming from Thaumic Tinkerer. So for example, when you mouse over any items that are from regular Thaumcraft, you're just going to see their name there as normal. However, if you're mousing over an item from Thaumic Tinkerer, you'll see in the tooltip it says bracket TT, close bracket, wipe off the bad luck. Okay, bracket TT, store more and less, that kind of thing. So anywhere where you see those bracket TTs, you know that this is a Thaumic Tinkerer item. Oh man, pretty cool stuff already to take a look at. Wand of Dislocation, one of my personal favorites. You'll see it soon, don't worry. So anywhere you see here the TT symbol, that's indicating that we've got a Thaumic Tinkerer item. Now I'm going to go through and show you a lot of these items, but as usual I'm not going to show you how to research them, or at least I'm going to go out of my way to not show you how to research them. There's a couple really cool things, and there's probably even a couple things I won't be able to show you, but I'm going to make you go ahead and check them out on your own. So let's get started taking a look at some of the items in Thaumic Tinkerer. Alright? Alright guys, I'm going to start off with the basics and then move into the more complex stuff as usual. First off, I want to show you Smoky Quartz. This is basically just made in a regular workbench, and it gives you access to an item called Smoky Quartz. And you can use it for some of the future recipes that you're going to see here, and you can also turn it into blocks if you want to go ahead and place in the world. It's pretty neat looking stuff. Oh man, so dark looking. I like it. You can make stairs out of it and all kinds of different quartz. You know, the same thing that you can make with regular quartz, basically, you can make with the Smoky Quartz. You can get the chiseled and the pillar and all that kind of cool stuff. Nice, right? Now, another block that is pretty interesting is this one right here, the Phantom Stone block. This is another building material, but it's really cool. Let's take a look. The Phantom Stone block is listed straight down here. Okay, basically what it is, it's a block that is like the warded stone blocks that can only be broken by the player who placed it using a wand. However, they have no physical boundaries for the player who placed them, meaning, basically, for the Phantom Stone blocks, okay, only the player can walk right through them, as if they didn't exist. Look at that. Awesome. However, other players and other entities and other things like that will not be able to pass right through them. So, if I got myself, you know, let's say just a spider or something like that. We'll get ourselves a spider egg and try and, you know, anger this spider a little bit. Note how he can't walk through. He's having to climb over the blocks, okay? So they act like just a normal block for anything but the player. Pretty awesome. I think I could personally use this for a couple interesting designs, specifically a way to get in and out, and doorways and stuff like that. I like these blocks a lot, and I will probably be messing with them in the near future. I should also note about these Phantom Stone blocks, at the current time, there's no way to give other people access to walk through them, but it is on the mod author's to-do list, so that is a feature that will be coming eventually. Now, speaking of warded stuff, how about we take a look at the warded chest? Basically, a warded block plus a chest equals a warded chest. You got it. Only the player who placed the chest can open it and access its contents. Other players will not be allowed to, and you also won't be able to break it with a pick or anything like that. Just like other warded stuff, you're going to have to use a wand to pick it up, and only the player who placed it can pick it up using the wand. Also note that there is no key for this one either, so only you can access it. Alright guys, next up we've got the Arcane Transmutator. Now I have to give you a little bit of a warning with this block. It's currently a little bit unbalanced with other mods. It's really meant more for just when you're playing with just Thaumcraft. So It's recommended at this time to probably disable it in the configs or change up some of the requirements, but I'm going to show you what the block does. It's currently a work in progress, and I think the mod author's a little bit working on how to rebalance it. But basically, what this item does is it allows you to take items that have a low number of aspects and basically duplicate them. So you can go ahead and place the diamond in here, for example, and you'll see like this nifty little spinning thing. The diamond is sitting there floating on top of it, and it's currently telling you that it's going to need some purus, some glass, and some chorus. Now you can see it's requiring a lot of these aspects. It's currently set to require 4 times the amount of aspects that the item has. So you're going to need basically 4 diamonds worth of aspects to duplicate this diamond. Now obviously this could be useful for a couple different blocks that are a little bit harder to craft. And you can also, basically combine other elements. It's a little bit of a form of alchemy if you really will think about it like that. So if you had something like, purus you can get from silverwood trees, and vitreous you can get from glass, and chorus you can get from gold and lapis. So you could use those materials to create diamonds. And you can do this with other things as well. It's just you're going to need a lot of glass and a lot of silverwood trees and a lot of gold in order to get yourself a diamond. Okay, so that's the way it works. And you feed these into you basically feed this the same way you would feed an infusion table. So if you have, the liquid essence nearby inside the tanks, or if you have like a cauldron nearby that you dump stuff into, that's the way you make this work. You can also see that it's going to require 40V, which is going to pull out of the environment. Let's try it out, huh? Alright guys, so let's give it a try. Got a cauldron here, got this thing ready, so I'm going to need 48 vitreous. In goes the glass. I'm also going to need 16 chorus and 16 purus, which I just happen to have the right amount of items for. Ta-da! You can see it's feeding, it's got all the symbols here indicating that it's happy and it's got everything it wants, and it's going to go ahead and duplicate the diamond for me. Yoink! Cool. And we just dumped a bunch of V into the environment and a little bit of flux and some negative attributes, but we got ourselves another diamond. Cool. I like it. Speaking of this negative attributes, how about I show you guys the fluxometer? Have you ever wanted to know a little bit more about the flux in the environment around you? This item is going to help you out. Simply look at it. And you can see that there's a little items floating around in there. What is that? Oh, I can kind of see like a little green symbol, a little stone symbol, a little magic symbol. This represents the flux that's currently in the environment. And the darker the items are, the more flux there is. So it's right now barely visible because there's just a little bit. But hey, let's go ahead and make it a little easier to see. Put some water in here, get ourselves some wood. That'll have a lot of this green symbol. Let's go ahead and give this guy a hit with a wand. Speaking of a wand, why don't I also show you the Wand of the Tinkerer. This is kind of a mid-tier wand. It's in between the 2 wands that exist in basic Thaumcraft. So we've got, in vanilla Thaumcraft, we've got the Wand of the Apprentice, which we know holds 50 V. And we've also got the Wand of the Adept, which holds 250. And then the next tier up is the Wand of the Thaumaturge, which holds 1,000. And it's really expensive to make. But this mod adds the Wand of the Tinkerer, which gives you 500 V. So it's kind of in between the 2nd and 3rd tier wands. So it's definitely a pretty nice one to get. So I've got the Wand of the Tinkerer here, and I'm going to go ahead and just dump everything into the environment. Yoink! Oh man, did we just make a mess. Look at all the flux. Now if we look in here, you'll kind of see this green symbol is really, it's kind of pulsating, giving you the indication that it's pretty heavily, affecting the environment. So I should note to you guys that the dimness of these symbols is intended, so, don't be surprised when you see it's a little bit hard to read, but you can definitely see that the green one is a little bit darker and it's pulsing a little bit more than the other 2. That's because right now there's more of that flux in the environment. So go ahead and try out the fluxometer. It's a nice way to figure out what's currently affecting your aura nodes. Awesome. Alright guys, next up we've got a pretty cool block. The tool Dynamism. It's a stationary animation block. It's based on Golem animation cores, and basically you place this block in the world, and it's super cool looking, number 1. You'll also note that there's this little circle. That's the direction it's facing, and it can be rotated by just right-clicking with this little wand right here. Cool? So basically, face it in the direction that you want to face it. So I'm going to face it that way. Cool. And inside you can place any items or blocks, and you can indicate whether they should be left or right-clicked. For example, if you want to right-click a block, for example, cobblestone, you can see the block is in there. And for right-clicking blocks, you're probably going to want to put it in redstone mode. It's probably the best bet. And you can activate it with a redstone signal. Boom. Look at that, pretty cool. So it basically right-clicks any block that you go ahead and place in there. Now, if you want to make it do a left-click on something, you can do that too. You can place, for example, a sword in there. Now, with the left-clicking functionality, if it's not in redstone mode, it'll kind of only activate whenever it sees something in front of it, be an entity or a block. So with a sword, entities make sense. When I stand in front of it, you'll see it activates and activates a left-click. Ouch. When you have it in a mode that you might want to interact with a block, for example, with a pickaxe, you can see anytime a block stands in front of it, it's going to activate the left-click function of the pickaxe. It's a little bit slower than you might normally have to deal with, but every time it's there, it's going to go ahead and activate. How cool, right? Now, if you put it in redstone mode, okay, it'll only run when it receives a redstone pulse. So pulse it once, and it'll go ahead and run. Nice. It does not run, by the way, with redstone mode just left on. So if you just leave it on, it's not going to go ahead and run again. You have to pulse it again in order to get it to run again. But like I said, if you have it in redstone disabled mode, so that you're not waiting for a redstone signal, anytime a block is placed in front of it, or an entity for that matter, it's going to go ahead and activate automatically. That's pretty awesome. So there's a lot of neat builds I could imagine coming up with this block. Do note it will put some durability loss on the item as it's using it, as you would expect, so keep that in mind. Next up, this really crazy looking block is the Thermostatic Magnetizer. It's based off the designs for the thermostatic harness, which you guys might have seen flying around on Forgecraft. I haven't covered it in a Thaumcraft spotlight yet. So that's pretty much what it's based off of. Thermostatic magnetizers can draw entities, items specifically, to it when it's sitting there. So let's see, we can activate it in red or blue mode. All right, let's give it a try. So I'm going to put an item on the ground here. Cool, looking good. Let's see what happens when we activate it. To activate it, simply apply a redstone signal to the block. Now, the strength of the redstone signal determines the range. So if you have like a long line of redstone here and it only gets like a 1 or 2 strength redstone signal, it's not going to have as good of a range. Yoink! Look at that. Whoa, that is cool looking. Now, if we switch modes to red, it's going to push the entities and items away. Awesome. Yoink! Away! That is hilarious. And again, switch it to blue mode to suck the entities in that are within range. So go ahead and you'll see, oh man, there go the items. That's really cool looking. Definitely could be useful for something like, I don't know, golems or something along those lines. Very cool. Didn't I promise you guys the Wand of Dislocation? I absolutely did, and like I said, it's very cool. Let's take a look. After studying the Wand of Equal Trade, you found a way to use this in order to store and move things around. Alright, let's give it a shot. What happens? If you right-click on a block, yoink, it picks it up. And you'll see that it's sitting there inside your inventory. Look at that. So you can see like a little symbol down on the bottom there, right above, that shows you which item is sitting inside there. Yoink. Now you can see obviously that this Wand of Dislocation does not have much by way of charge, so use it sparingly because you're not going to want to use it to just move around blocks like that. It's pretty good though about moving other things around. For example, if you had a chest with a bunch of items in it, let's see what happens. So I'm going to get this chest and I'm going to put my all-important Thaumic cheat sheet in there. Oh boy, I really hope this works. That might be a little bit of a problem. So let's get ourselves another Wand of Dislocation. Yoink, I've got the chest. And placed it right back down. Hey, there's my Thaumic cheat sheet. Awesome. So here's yet another interesting item, the stopwatch of the Time Twister. Pretty cool. I've got it looked up here in the Thaumic, and it tells me that you found an interesting way of twisting the very fabric of time to your own will. With a simple click of the stopwatch, you can bind your position, health, and food to it. 1 minute later, if you still have the watch in your possession, you'll be returned to this point. Yoink! Oh boy, we've got a cool countdown, a little bit of ticking, and some pretty nifty particle effects indicating that we've just bound ourselves to the position that we were in. Now I'm going to run around, maybe even take a little bit of damage, and burn down my health if I can, and I'll be back when the stopwatch is almost burned out. Oh well, couldn't burn down my food fast enough, but I can probably handle this. Yoink! Teleported back, right where I was when I clicked the stopwatch, and my food and hunger have returned to their position. Now, items I collect along the way or anything along those do not change, so your inventory is not affected by the stopwatch, just your position and your food and hunger levels, so keep that in mind. Pretty nifty way if you know you want to head off somewhere and you want to get back to where you are within a minute. Very cool little device. So you might want a little bit more control over how you teleport back. You may not just want it to be instantly after a minute. So there's a positive and a negative to the Sigil of Memories. This block, or item, allows you to right-click on a block. So I'm just going to come right over here and right-click. Ta-da! We've bound to that block. Now, if we ever want to return to it, it's real easy. Just come over wherever you want to be, and if you want to get back to that location, use your Sigil of Memories. However, I said there was a downside, didn't I? It's a one-time use only item. You have to charge it up to use it, so go ahead and hold right-click, and once you start seeing these little lightning effects around your character, you'll know that it's ready to go. Release. Ta-da! You've teleported back to your location. Unfortunately, the sigil is gone, so you're going to have to make yourself another one. Teleportation does not come cheap. Have you ever wanted to name your golems? No? Well, you should be, because I have a nifty little tool that allows you to do so. Simply get yourself a golem name tag. Not terribly expensive to make. Give it a name in the table here. And once the golem name tag has been named, walk over your golem and left click it. Nice! Now he's got a name tag. Awesome. Another interesting device that I find is pretty useful is the Talisman of Withholding. Ooh, nifty. This talisman, okay, if we take a look in the Thaumic here, basically uses zombie brains in the same way that they can store experience in a block, allows you to store experience in the item. So every time you kill something or mine and any experience drops that you would collect, it'll go into the talisman instead of into your bar. So take a look. Turn it on by holding shift and right clicking. And once it's on, get yourself some experience. Cool. Notice that I didn't get any experience for that. But if we look here, you can see that it's got currently 3 experience and it's currently absorbing. Nice. Shift right click to turn off the absorbing, and that's pretty awesome. Once you've run around and collected a decent amount of experience, about 10 is what's required, simply right click it. And any bottles in your inventory here will turn into a bottle o enchanting, and it'll use 10 experience. So we'll try that again just to demonstrate. Right click, boom, and you turn that bottle into a bottle o enchanting. Nice. Boy, with all that experience I'm going to need to fill up bottles of enchanting, maybe it would be cool if there was a way to maybe make animals breed a little bit easier. Don't worry, we've got a solution for that in the aphrodisiac concoction. Just throw this nifty little throwing potion nearby, and all the pigs that are affected by it will suddenly get a little bit, interested in spawning more pigs. Let's put it that way. Yep, definitely a pretty nifty potion. Just toss it in the middle of your pen, and you'll have a bunch of animals ready to create some babies. Now there's a couple nifty items that I want to show you guys. You all know that I'm not a huge fan of torches all over the place because kind of think they're not so good looking. But at the same time, I don't like it to be pitch black either because my videos don't look good on YouTube when it's very dark. Don't worry, we've got gaseous glowstone. Just right click the stuff and yoink, it'll kind of light up the area for you pretty well, but there's no items placed down. Look at that. So you can go ahead and easily light up an area, yoink, with a little bit of gaseous glowstone. Awesome. Now if you want to get rid of that stuff, get yourself a fume dissipator. Right there, and you can go ahead and see that it's going to go ahead and clear away any of the fumes you used here. Simply shift right click to use it, and you'll see that it's going to start dissipating some of the fumes nearby. Okay, cool. Not bad. Oh, there we go. Now we got the last of the stuff. Cool. So the gaseous glowstone here lights up an area. The fume dissipator gets rid of those fumes nearby. Now we've also got something pretty interesting. It's the opposite of the gaseous glowstone. It's gaseous tenebrae. And this stuff makes it dark. Oh boy. Pretty cool, right? Now, it might not work so well in direct sunlight, so let's go into a bit of an area down in here and just toss this thing down, and we're going to go ahead and start tossing some gaseous tenebrae. Oh boy, that is cool looking. So you can see it kind of darkens an area even more so, especially doesn't, like I said, work too well in direct sunlight, but it will keep an area dark. Do note that it does cause a little bit of flux in the environment when you're using this stuff, so keep that in mind. Oh, that's neat stuff. And again, shift right click to clear it away, and it'll allow it to be light again near those areas. Personally, I find it a little bit of a drag when I die, and I happen to be really far away from my stuff, and I'm afraid it's going to despawn. That's why you might want to make yourself a rune Thanatos. Go ahead and place that in your inventory, and if you do happen to die with that on your character, Dun 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 dun. Oh. Simply approach the spot where you had died. Notice I don't have any items in my inventory. And you'll see the Roan kind of just sitting there. Yoink! Note, all the items came back into my inventory in their original positions where they were. It does the best it can. Sometimes it misplaces a few things, but for the most part, everything comes back to exactly the position they were in when you died. That is awesome. Of course, note that you lost your rune, so you're going to have to create another one before you die again. Next up, we've got a pretty cool item, the Infernal Bracelet, based off what we've got here, the Arcane Bellows and the Infernal Furnace. You're going to have to take the Infernal Bracelet and right-click on a block to smelt it in the world. You also want to charge it by right-clicking on an active Arcane Bellows in order to convey the energy of the furnace. So simply take your Infernal Bracelet and right-click. Oh, nice. Automatically smelting whatever it is that you right-click on. I like that. Hey, does it work on wood? No, unfortunately. That's okay. Plenty of cool uses for auto-smelting items in world with this bracelet. Nice. Yet another magic wand to show you guys. The Wand of Uprising basically allows you to fly. Oh yeah, pretty cool. Do note that if you fall while this is on, you could take some fall damage, so be a little bit careful with it. But it's definitely a nifty tool to help you get around, magically powered. Awesome. Alright, I don't want to die, so I'm going to jump off here. Now, if you take yourself a Sword of the Zephyr and a Wand of the Uprising, you can get yourself the Sword of the Condor. Oh man, definitely an expensive item, but it's pretty awesome. Simply take it in your inventory, and note that you fly a bit faster here, but you can no longer push enemies away, which is, part of the Sword of the Zephyr's abilities, so be aware of that. You can also shift right-click to jump yourself backwards a little bit. So if you're battling some enemies and you need to get a quick escape, shift right-click to get out of there. Oh, that's cool. Another nifty pair of items, the Crystal of Rainfall. Just break it by right-clicking on it, and you'll start to rain. And if you've got yourself a Crystal of Sunlight, it'll do the opposite. Do keep in mind that these are one-time use items, and you'll need to break them in order for them to activate, but they'll definitely do what you want them to do. We've also got ourselves the HyperEnergetic Nitor. This is an upgraded form of Nitor, which is really pretty awesome. It requires some of this gaseous glowstone, a bunch of Nitor, and even a little bit of Elementum. Go ahead and just place it in your inventory anywhere you want. I'm going to head into this deep dark cave and be a little bit afraid of what I might encounter. Well, maybe not, because by having this item in your inventory, it's going to go ahead and light up any areas as you travel through them. Now, of course, it's not going to stay lit up for long, but it will help you to see wherever you're at, and you can kind of get around easily. Nice. So this nifty item will kind of keep things lit up wherever you go. Very cool. More and more problems occur with some negative side effects. A lot of mods are starting to add crazy things, and if you happen to fall into some of this nasty liquid here, you might get poison, weakness, and nausea. Don't worry, I've got a Talisman of Remedium. Simply shift right-click to activate it, and it'll heal you of all your woes and problems. Of course, it will use a little bit of flux out of the environment, and probably cause a little bit of flux and maybe use just a bit of V. So keep that in mind, but it's a nifty way to keep yourself healed. And we've also got a couple nifty little items that you can craft right here. Down here, we've got ourselves the Silk Cutter and the Fortunate Maul. These nifty tools can kind of break almost anything. So the Fortunate Maul has no problem breaking through dirt, but it is a little bit slow. It can also break through sand, and it can break through stone. Keep in mind, though, it's a little bit slower than normal pickaxes and tools, but it comes preloaded with Fortune 3. So go ahead and hammer away at some coal or anything else that you might want to get and take advantage of the Fortune enchant from. Preloaded with Fortune 3, but a little bit slow. Can break anything though, so pretty nice. And if you want, you can also get yourself the Silk Cutter. Same deal, but it comes preloaded with Silk Touch. Hooray! So pretty nifty tools, a little bit slow. Might want to put efficiency on them. That would probably be a good idea. And guys, finally, we have the Ender Mirror. This thing is pretty nifty. You guys have seen the mirrors that are part of vanilla Thaumcraft, but if we come up here and take a look at the Ender Mirror, you'll see that it basically allows you access to your vanilla Ender Chest. So if we were to get ourselves an Ender Chest out of vanilla, you can go ahead and access the contents of it simply by right-clicking your Ender Mirror. Awesome. Just a nifty place to store things whenever you want. That's not bad at all. Alright guys, I think that about wraps up the mod spotlight for Thaumic Tinkerer. Now there's a couple blocks I want to give you a little bit of a sneak preview for. They're currently a work in progress and not totally working yet, but he's got a nifty little tool here, which I personally like because I get a mention in the mod. Hooray! He was watching one of my videos and he caught me say the following line. The thing is, there's only 6 sides to a block. Direwolf 20. Myth busted. This latest construct will allow you to simply right-click on an interface binder and then right-click on another block, and that block's sides will become matched up with that block's sides. So if I pump items into this block, they'll land here. And I can easily switch this and do the same. This will eventually work with liquid and energy and all kinds of other things, and you can even have more than one of these interfaces bound to the same block. So note that there are no pieces of cobblestone in here. 1 and 2. So both these interfaces can be bound to this block, so you can access all different sides. Now these interfaces do have a max range, so you can't just go ahead and put one like, 100 blocks away. That's not going to work. Interface is too far away. I think the range is 2 or 3 blocks in kind of a square area. Pretty nifty. I also didn't show you all the items. There's the Reaper's Scythe, there's a couple different things, there's a Cryogenic Globe, a couple different items I didn't show you. I'm going to rely on you to download the mod and check it out yourself. So definitely give this mod a try. Thaumic Tinkerer is lots of fun and very cool, and there's already new stuff being added to it that's not available just yet, like this interface, but will be in the very near future. Alright guys, this is Direwolf 20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the Thaumic Tinkerer Spotlight, and as always, take it easy!